and welcome back to my channel and another episode of my Sims 2 Uberhood. So today we're here with Kaylynn Langerak. Kaylynn is living alone and, unknown to her at this moment in time, expecting Daniel Pleasant's twins. Now, last episode, clearly we played with the Pleasants, and while there's no love there just yet, Mary Sue and Daniel did decide they were going to give their marriage another go. So Kaylynn's twins could really throw a spanner in the works with that. She is of course also still in love with Don Lothario, so as I do play very wants-based, it could really go either way, or another way. It might be that she decides that neither of them are good enough for her and that she wants to go with someone else entirely. But as she is a family sim, I do imagine she'll probably want to settle down at some point. But it might be that when the twins come along, that she'll just be too busy to think about it this week. I don't know yet, we'll see. Kaylynn also doesn't have a job, nor does she have a whole lot of money. I don't think I'm going to look for a job just yet because she will need, obviously, to take some time off for the kids. And as I have the 18-hour pregnancy mod, they'll be here sooner rather than later, so I don't think she'll end up getting enough vacation days for that. So I think we're going to keep her as a stay-at-home mum, at least until the kids are a bit older. But that does mean that she's going to struggle a lot with money, which is pretty fitting. She is in the neighbourhood for that. This is where she's living, so just a simple little place. I'm hoping that when the twins come that they're the same gender so they can share this bedroom for a lot longer. But we will see. It's definitely going to be a bit of a tight squeeze. First thing I want to do with Kaylynn is give her a secondary aspiration. So I've done the calculator and her secondary aspiration is knowledge, which feels about right for her. That's probably what I would pick for her anyway. That or romance, to be honest. Bearing in mind she does have 2 partners at the moment. I think romance would also be fitting, but she's going to be a family knowledge sim. I do find Kaylynn a bit of a difficult one to work out because family sims are generally very monogamous, but she's clearly not. But I do imagine that she would like to settle down. I've put her lifetime want to be reach golden anniversary, so I don't quite know yet what she's playing at, if I'm honest. I mean, one thing that I have considered, bearing in mind she's got chemistry with Daniel but not with Don, and she also currently has a want and a fear about Daniel, but again not with Don, is I wonder if she feels like Daniel is her true love. But obviously he's already married, so it's not like she can marry him and pursue that. So maybe she's sort of thinking, well, maybe Don would be more marriage material, because I guess she doesn't realise that Don is just as much of a scumbag as Daniel is. So maybe that's what she's thinking, is she's sort of like, Daniel is her heart's choice, but Don is her head's choice. Well, I'm going to invite Daniel over, because she does have this want to play with him, so why not? I don't know if he'll be around at the moment. He might be at work. Yeah, he's at work. Angela answered, and for some reason her main grievance with Kaylynn is that she doesn't have a job, as opposed to the fact that she had an affair with her dad, but she says to try after 2 p.m, so we might call back then. I mean, alternatively, because she does also just have the want to flirt in general, she's not fussy about a who. We could see if Don's around. I'm not sure if Don's working either. It might be that they're both at work, but we could call up Don and see if he's around instead. So is Don home? He is. Well, we can invite him over and flirt with him instead. Alright, so here he is. Let's invite him in and let's have a little flirt with him. Or we could do that instead. Okay, so that's actually re-rolled her wants so that they are a bit more Don focused. It might also be, I mean, I said it was like a head versus heart issue, but it might also be that her heart is saying both, but she just can't decide. And maybe she's sort of trying to keep her options open because she's a bit scared to make the wrong choice. And so instead of making the wrong choice, she's making an even worse choice by choosing both. She does also have 2 bolts of chemistry with Don now as well, so yeah, that probably confirms that theory because she is equally, attracted to both of them. Okay, her wants are entirely Don focused now. Maybe she's another one who can only see what's directly in front of her at any given time. It is a shame because I like Kaylynn, so I would like for her to pick somebody who's a little bit less of a scumbag than Don or Daniel. It would be nice if she could settle down with a nice single man who actually wants to settle down, but here we are. Well, it looks like we have a welcome wagon. We've got Brandy, John Burb and Darren Dreamer. So let's invite everybody in. In terms of men, they're both married as well, so they're also no-goes. But she could make friends with Brandy. I mean, they're going to be in quite similar situations, having lots of children and raising them alone, so she could be a good source of support. So it is 2 p.m, so Daniel will be home from work now, but as Don's here, I'm just going to focus on him for today. But I'm going to keep this Daniel want locked in, and we'll think about maybe doing it tomorrow or another day. Interestingly, Kaylynn's wants are purely friendly, and she's autonomously doing a lot of friendly things with him, so I really do think this is more than just lust for her. Like, she really is wanting to settle down, but really is torn between who to try and settle down with. I mean, like I said, Daniel's not really an option anyway, but that doesn't stop her wanting it. Oh, and it looks like Kaylynn's getting her first pregnancy bump. Randy is fuming, I don't know why. Clearly very jealous that somebody else got pregnant who's not her. And her wants to re-rolled as well to have a baby. So she's clearly very happy about this, even though it's not necessarily an ideal situation. Ultimately, I do just feel like Kaylynn's got her head in the clouds a little bit, like she's not really grounded in reality about her options here. I think she's just got all of these fantasies about the perfect relationship and the perfect family and isn't really thinking about the reality that this isn't a perfect situation. Also, she's starving. I should probably feed her. And looks like we're getting her second pregnancy bump, so 6 more hours and then she'll give birth. So I'm actually going to buy some cribs with the limited money she has. So we'll just get a couple of cheap ones, or at least as cheap as baby things can be. So all of Kaylynn's guests have left, except Darren. So these two are just going to have something to eat together. I know that it's a little bit unrealistic because Kaylynn's going to give birth in only a few hours and she won't have had a chance to tell Daniel yet, but it's just sort of the nature of how fast pregnancies go when you've got the 18-hour pregnancy mod. There's not always time to tell people, but we're just going to imagine that she has told him. She's not doing well though. I was so fixated on her interactions with Don that I forgot to look after her, so she did just pee herself, and she peed herself in the bathroom of all places. But it's alright, she'll be fine. She's almost done with pregnancy. I don't know, I could not cope with pregnancy that's 3 days. I just wouldn't manage it. Her hunger and energy are both dire, and I'm a little bit worried about her ability to live at this point. But she is about to go into labour, so I'm just hoping that we can get her needs in shape quickly after the babies are born. I'm terrible at looking after my Sims, but I'm even worse when they're pregnant. So yeah, hopefully giving birth doesn't literally kill her. I am excited to see what she has, but my excitement is a little bit overridden by nervousness at Kaylynn's ability to look after herself, let alone them. So yeah, let's see what she has.
Ooh, je cab flown naben, huh? Possible? Crème la tige. Nouveau fashion fatigue.
Alright, so that's one. I can sort of see, I think, that it's going to be 2 girls. It is 2 girls. Okay. So, I'm going to call these two Emily and Megan. So let's have a look at what they look like. It looks like Emily's got black hair and green eyes, just like Kaylynn. I believe Daniel's eyes are green as well. So she's obviously got recessive red hair. They'll both have recessive red hair from Daniel, I think. But I'm surprised they got black hair, if I'm honest, because I thought Kaylynn had dyed her hair. I thought she was naturally blonde. But maybe I'm mistaken on that. Maybe she's just got recessive blonde. I'm not sure. And it looks like Megan is the same. Black hair, green eyes. So they've both got the same colouring. Kaylynn already looks exhausted and her want to have a baby has changed to get married. Maybe she's sort of like, shit, maybe this would be easy with somebody else. Probably would be Kaylynn, but then this is what you get for going after married men. I don't know what to tell you. So let's get Kaylynn fed pronto because we don't need Emily and Megan becoming orphans immediately. And then get her to bed and hopefully tomorrow will be a better day, needs-wise. Although now that she's got 2 little babies to look after, maybe not. I feel like we're going into survival mode now. I was going to say wish me luck, but I think wish Kaylynn luck more importantly. I'm going to call it a win if I finish this episode with all 3 of these both alive and not taken by the social worker. I'm setting the bar low, and if I could have my sanity intact, that would be ideal as well. Alright, so it's the next day. Kaylynn's had a bit of a sleep, so she's got her energy up a little bit. We're just going to wake her up so we can feed the twins. And then herself, clearly. I'm so glad they're not pregnant for that long, because I would not cope. I think today we are going to invite over Daniel, so he can meet his children. I've also just realised he ended up with 2 sets of twin girls, Daniel. It would have been nice if Kaylynn had had a boy, because I would have liked to keep the Langerak name going. But she might have another boy before she gets married, if she ever gets married, so there's still time. I mean, this is just a new soundtrack to Kaylynn's life is crying constantly. I've just fed them both. Kaylynn needs to eat before I deal with any more. They don't need changing desperately, but Kaylynn does need to eat desperately. Right, get that down, you Kaylynn, and then we can look after the babies. Even though we've just looked after them, but this is going to be a constant fight. I do still want to invite Daniel over to come meet them, but to be honest, he could also come over and maybe help. Although knowing the Sims, he'll probably just get in the way, won't he? Alright, is Daniel working? Moment of truth. He's not. Okay, please come over. Please help us. Alright, he's on his way. I don't think he realises he's going to be roped into babysitting duties, but honestly, he did this. So the least he can do is help change some nappies. Look at him. Just strolling in. Completely oblivious. Get in here, Daniel, and help out. The babies are on the floor. Boy, she is so happy to see him, and I can't blame her. So far Daniel's being absolutely useless, but I suppose that's to be expected. He's just sat down watching TV while Kaylynn does all the work. But I suppose that's all he did with his kids with his wife, so why Kaylynn would be any different, I don't know. And yet, despite being absolutely useless with the kids, Daniel's here trying to charm Kaylynn and everything. More than happy to knock her up, not willing to take any responsibility to help. I mean, I think it's just the perfect example of how his and Mary Sue's relationship probably was, is Kaylynn's looking after the children, she's looking after the house, she's starving and she's exhausted. And what Daniel could do is say, you go take a nap, I'll look after the babies for a bit. He could also say, I'll go cook you something. But instead, he's just me. I want to romance you, I want to flirt with you, I want to kiss you. Kaylynn's here struggling. He doesn't give a shit. He watched her look after the babies, he watched her do all of that, and the second she gets a moment where they've gone down for a nap and she's got a second to herself, instead of helping her look after herself, he's just taking all of her attention again to look after him and his needs. He's a selfish prick, basically. Yeah, I just imagine that it's exactly how he treated Mary Sue when Angela and Lilith were young. So hopefully Kaylynn wakes up to the fact that he's not a good partner. Even if he wasn't married, he wouldn't be a good partner. Alright, I think Daniel left. I don't see him anywhere. I have to admit, I looked away for a bit because I was having a drink and Kaylynn had fallen asleep in her food. So he must have slipped off when she fell asleep in her food, which is especially scummy because after everything I just said about how he doesn't seem to give a shit about her needs, you know, she's passed out in a bowl of soup that has got green vapours coming off of it. And he takes that as his cue to leave. So I think that says it all about what kind of person he is, really. Anyway, the babies are awake now, and it looks like Megan needs changing. So we need to come and feed them, change them, and then get Kaylynn something to eat. And then I imagine she'll probably have a really early night. The good news is she is getting along with John Burb and to a certain extent Brandy as well. And they're obviously both family sims, so I like to imagine that John obviously knows that she's just had twins, so he's calling up to just make sure that everything's okay. She's not too overwhelmed. I mean, he's not coming to help in person, which is probably what she really needs, but you know, he's calling up just to have a chat with her, make sure she knows that she's not alone. Yes, well, who is what got you into this mess, Kaylynn? But I imagine that John and Brandy call every now and again with some advice and just to check in, make sure she's doing okay, even though she's really not. I mean, I have to say, all things considered, I think Kaylynn is coping pretty well. I mean, she's on the brink of starving and passing out at all points, but aren't all new mothers? The twins are okay, so that's the main thing. I mean, they do spend an awful lot of time on the floor, but that's okay, it could be worse. Right, we're going to get Kaylynn some food before she literally dies. Chances are she'll pass out on it, and I'm just going to leave her. She can have a nice nap and she can finish it when she wakes up. Alright, there she goes. Apparently she was woken up by a baby. Neither of them are crying. We've done such a good job at looking after both of them. Or maybe it's just the worry that is keeping her awake, which isn't a bad thing. Because ideally, if we can keep her awake until she gets into an actual bed, that would be perfect. Okay, I let her get a couple of hours sleep just to get the energy a little bit higher so that she wasn't literally going to pass out. Now we can put the twins in bed and then we'll try and get her energy up a little bit more so that hopefully she can be on better footing tomorrow. I know her hunger is still low as well, but it's always such a difficult balancing act with energy and hunger between not starving to death and not passing out. The good news though is that Kaylynn did manage to get her energy up a little bit, so if we can get her something to eat, she's going to be on a lot better footing today in terms of her needs. Alright, so let's sort them out and then we can have Kaylynn get some breakfast and then get on with the day. I love how, unless I explicitly tell her to, she just puts them on the floor instead of back in their cribs. It'd be fine if they were toddlers, but it's almost like she forgets they can't actually walk yet and figures that they'll just make their own way back. Alright, Kaylynn's got her breakfast, so we've staved off starving for another day. She's actually doing a pretty good job. It is difficult, don't get me wrong, and I'm sure she's finding it difficult as well, but the babies are relatively happy. She's not dead. That's the bar I'm setting for Kaylynn. Oh, somebody's coming to the door? Oh, it's the freaking hobby guy. They always catch me off guard. I'm used to the art one now because I've seen her a few times. But I'm always like, who's breaking into my Sim's house? We had Kaylynn study mechanical, so she must have got some more tinkering enthusiasm. I went into a panic mode. I know that this isn't real, but I was like, there's a stranger walking into my single mother's house with her 2 little babies. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Because this wouldn't be absolutely terrifying if you live alone with 2 babies just turning around and seeing this in the doorway. So sinister. Alright, so you've had the notifications that Emily and Megan's birthdays are tomorrow, so they'll become toddlers tomorrow, which could make things a lot easier and it could make things a lot harder. I keep finding myself not talking because I'm just so focused on getting everything sorted and hopefully Kaylynn not dying. Babies are looked after though. Kaylynn is currently being looked after. She's going to make herself a hamburger. And once again, I imagine she'll probably pass out in her food, but then this looks more comfortable to pass out in than the soup that she did before, so is it really the end of the world? It's almost like a little pillow, isn't it? And off she goes. And it's the same routine as yesterday. She's going to go to bed before she's finished her tea, leave the twins on the floor, try and get a couple of hours of rest before anybody needs anything. Okay, she's had a nightmare. That made me jump. She's had a nightmare about Daniel. Okay, interesting. Well, whatever it was, it's woken her up, so we can put the twins to bed. Maybe she just had a bit of a sleep-deprived moment when she forgot them and she's just suddenly remembered that they're not in bed yet. So the twins are in bed, Kaylynn can come finish her burger, and then she can head back to bed and hopefully, oh, she also needs to pee. I'm just seeing a lot of red, I'm not really paying attention to what is red and what's not. But she can go pee, then she can go to bed and hopefully sleep a little bit. Just enough to get through tomorrow. Because the twins growing up to toddlers, if nothing else, it does represent halfway between being born and becoming a child. More or less. Slightly less, but still. We're on the homeward stretch, Kaylynn. Well, we're not, but we're on the homeward stretch to the homeward stretch. Okay, so Kaylynn got a good hour of sleep. Maybe even 2, I'm not sure. So it looks like both of them need changing, so let's come and change them and then see if we can get Kaylynn a little bit more sleep. I'm aware her fun need is also terrible, but I'm not worried about that at the moment. The main things I'm worried about is hunger and energy. I do feel like Kaylynn, she never seems to get a good 6 hours of sleep. Much like real life, I imagine. She's just sort of sleeping in 1 to 2 hour bursts, and that's got to be enough for her. So let's squeeze in another hour or so now. Keep her chronically exhausted, but not dead. That's the goal. I mean, it's not the goal. The goal isn't to keep her chronically exhausted, but that is what's happening. Alright, last day with the babies. As babies, clearly we're going to still have them as toddlers. But last day before they age up. And Kaylynn's about to get to eat, so she lives for another day as well. It is Thursday, so there'll be bills today. But if they're anything like they were on Tuesday, they should be fine. So far, she's managing to make the money last, and so she should be okay until she needs to get a job. I guess it just depends on how much the toddler stuff is and beds for when they become children and stuff, then that might become more difficult. But she should manage. She's still got 960. It's going to be a bit tight, but they should manage. And bills are 44, so that's not too bad. That's even less than Tuesday, I think. So yeah, it should be okay. She is just going to head to bed though, leaving the kids on the floor, but that's okay. Like I said, just 1 to 2 hour bursts. That's what she's surviving on at the moment, and that will have to do. Oh, the phone's ringing. Oh, and it's Brandy. I sort of imagine that Kaylynn, Brandy and John, because she's wants to be best friends with both John and Brandy, I imagine they've all got like a group chat where they just talk about parenting issues and give each other advice and offload to each other and stuff. I think they're all a good form of support for each other, especially Kaylynn and Brandy. I mean, they're obviously both in similar situations, being single parents to young children. Kaylynn is struggling with her needs, but also with the baby's needs, and it's about to get a lot harder because they're about to age up. What's harder than 2 screaming babies? 2 screaming toddlers. Can't even tell who she's going to first because their portraits are the same. Well, before we age them up, let's get them a potty, because I am going to attempt to potty train them. Whether I'll succeed or not, who knows? Well, I think I do know. The answer is probably not, but we can give it a go. Although I do think that keeping Kaylynn alive is still where I'm setting the bar for now. So it looks like she's going to Emily first. Makes sense, she is the oldest. As usual, I did not get a good angle. Alright, and now let's age up Megan. Interestingly, Megan is wearing a little beanie hat. I don't love it, but I mean, I could change it, but I can't be bothered, to be honest. They're not toddlers for very long, so I think I'm just going to leave her like that. I mean, it's difficult to tell. I'm just sort of looking at their portraits here because they have the same pose at the moment, and actually, facially, they look very similar, just when I'm switching between their portraits. I'll have to try and get a side-by-side at some point, see if I can see how similar they actually look. I know that there isn't such a thing as identical twins in this game, but these two might be pretty close. Alright. Both the girls are fed and changed. Now I need to clean up, get Kaylynn fed. She also needs the bathroom at some point, if we can squeeze that in. If not, she could just go on the floor, it's fine. I'm going to have Kaylynn make lobster thermidor because I'm hoping that it's a more complicated dish that fills her up more so we don't have to eat again for a while. I have to say, I don't know if I spoke about it too much, but when I started this episode, I was fully going, oh, I wonder if we'll find out if Kaylynn's going to pick Daniel or Don. I wonder if she'll want more children. No, we're in survival mode. There is no time for choosing boyfriends or having more children. It is purely about trying to keep everyone alive. Okay, so it's nearly 1 o'clock. Kaylynn is finally getting to eat. She's going to fall asleep, but that's fine. Luckily, she does have the screaming babies to keep her awake, though. The good news is she's no longer in danger of starving to death. She's just in danger of peeing herself and or passing out at all times. But that's okay. That's less final. The babies seem to be cornering Kaylynn so that she can't get out of her chair, which is quite annoying. If I can get them into their cribs, I'm going to keep them in there. I'm never letting them out again. Oh, she managed to slip out. Right, so she's got her hunger up. She's not going to starve to death. Next question is she going to pee herself? She's running. Is she going to make it? No. She's going to wash her hands before. But the good news is she might not even make a new puddle because there's already one here. Oh, she will. Okay, never mind. To be honest, if I hadn't have downloaded the yellow pee mod, you wouldn't even be able to tell. Is this toilet broken? No, it's not. It's just the toddlers playing in it. I haven't bought them any toys because I don't know if we can afford them. Especially not if they have to get beds soon as well. Alright, we've got one twin down. And Kaylynn has passed out in her pile of piss. It's gone 5 o'clock in the morning. We've got one baby in bed. And judging by her energy bar, that baby will be awake soon. Neither Kaylynn nor Megan have made it to bed yet. It's hard work. It takes them so long because they just spend half the time complaining about how they're tired. And I'm like, yeah, just get on with it and then we can get you to bed. And then 4 hours later, they're still not in bed. And the second twin is finally going down at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to keep them in those cribs forever so that they can never accidentally fall asleep on the floor. They'll never get in the way. You know, one of many issues we had is every time Kaylynn came out to the bin, they'd come out here and block the doorway. Kaylynn is heading to bed at 6:30 in the morning. The twins are asleep. It feels like they've just run a marathon and it's nearly morning, and so before long we're going to have to get everyone up to feed them again and do this all over again. Oh, and at 6:45 Emily's woken up. Oh, and she's going to start screaming to wake Kaylynn up. Awesome. Oh, and Megan, everyone's waking up. We all managed to get, I think, half an hour of sleep. And it's morning, 7 a.m. I guess it's time to get up. Have fun functioning, Kaylynn. Alright, so let's get the twins looked after. We'll start with Emily because she's had a bit of a sleep and we'll let Megan sleep a little bit longer. Alright, and Kaylynn is passed out, but it's okay because the babies are entertaining themselves by playing in her pee. I might just leave her like this for a bit. I think this is the most rest she's going to get for a while. Looks like Emily has come and found a new entertainment activity. So I've got Megan over here playing in dirty water from the toilets. And now Emily down here playing in trash that Kaylynn's dropped. I believe that's a dirty nappy, technically. So everything's going perfectly. I mean, they seem happy enough, so we're building their immune systems, that's what we're doing. Okay, we've just had a notification saying that no one's paying enough attention to Emily, so we're going to go and pay some attention to Emily, although what attention that's going to be I don't know, because the main thing we need to do right now, especially for Megan, is get them both down for a nap, because Megan didn't actually have a good sleep last night. Emily's doing a bit better, but we need to change them both, get them down for a nap, and then maybe Kaylynn can also go down for a nap. I mean, she's not a baby, but you know what I mean. Alright, so Emily's down. Alright, and Megan's down as well. Finally, Kaylynn can have a couple of hours to herself. She can tidy up. She might pass out, but that's fine. She can pass out and sleep in peace for like 2 hours. And there she goes. I think she got in about an hour and a half before Emily's woken up, so her tiny little alarm clock is here. Alright, well, let's get the twins both potty trained, or attempt to, anyway. I don't know if they'll accept it. They haven't accepted it yet, and both of their moods are in the yellow, but, I mean, Megan could use a bit of fun, but the main thing Emily's after is social, and this might fulfill that, so we'll give it a go. We'll see if she is willing to cooperate. Alright, so Emily wasn't having it. Let's see if Megan will. No, Megan's not going to either. That's fine. To be honest, I think it's a bit ambitious to expect either of them to learn any toddler skills. I know I keep saying it, but it is just about surviving and having Kaylynn not die and having the twins not get taken away. So skills, not really important. They are a luxury. So in the interest of not having anybody get taken away, let's feed everybody, including Kaylynn, because her hunger's getting pretty low as well. I do sort of feel like it's getting marginally easier, like really marginally, just tiny bits by bit. So I'm hoping that maybe tomorrow will be a bit easier. And Kaylynn can't reach Emily, so she's going to put the bottle down next to the piss puddle because, you know, hygiene. Why even bother sterilising bottles? Just put them on the dirty bathroom floor next to where you peed a few days ago. Like I said, builds their immune system. Okay, everybody's been fed. Emily's social is still not doing great. Nobody's having fun, but that's okay. Childhood's not about having fun anyway. Kaylynn is finally getting to have a bit of a sleep. I'm hoping that she can catch up on just a couple of hours now, that then we can get the twins down in a few hours' time, and then Kaylynn can go to sleep at the same time as them and get a decent night. Or as decent as like 4 hours anyway. I mean, this is true poverty. We can't really afford toys because I know they have 800, but I need to bear in mind they're going to need that for 2 beds relatively soon. But yeah, the only toy they've really got is the toilet, and we've only got one, so it's not even like they can both use it at the same time. I know, Megan, you're going to have to wait your turn. I can't believe that Kaylynn still has to want to have another baby. She must be nuts. So Kaylynn has just narrowly avoided making yet another pee puddle. So let's get the twins into bed and see if we can get Kaylynn a decent-ish night's sleep. I am starting to get a bit worried about Emily's social needs. I'm hoping she'll be okay till morning, but I don't want them to get taken away by the social worker, so I might genuinely just cheat that up a little bit if that becomes an issue. But it's very difficult to understand how it's so low when Kaylynn's needs are also so low because she's so busy looking after them. But to be honest, like I keep saying, they're just in survival mode. There's not really time to just interact and hang out with them. Okay, both of the girls are down, so let's tidy up their dirty nappies and then send Kaylynn to bed. We did manage to take care of energy a little bit, but now that's already pretty low, and hunger is also pretty low, so we're back to struggling, we're back to surviving, and even that we're not doing well. Okay, so Kaylynn's had a little bit of a nap, so she's got her energy up a little bit. Now she's going to have something to eat, and hopefully then we can give Emily some attention before the social worker comes. Anyway, both of the twins are up, and their energy is both pretty good, so that's good news. Neither of them need their nappy changing, so that's more good news. So let's let them both out and then send Kaylynn back to bed for a bit. I know she's still pretty hungry, but if we can just get a little bit more sleep, then we can get her some breakfast in the morning. We're getting there, I think. I'm not really sure. I might be just coping. I have to say, I don't know quite what's happened, but the twins don't really like each other that much. I mean, Emily has negative daily and lifetime relationship with Megan, and while Megan's currently got a slightly positive lifetime, she's got negative daily, and I'm sure that she'll get negative lifetime as well because of that. So we could run into some sort of sibling rivalry when they grow up, unfortunately. It might be that these two end up having the same sort of trajectory as Angela and Lilith, where they're just complete opposites and hate each other. I'm genuinely not trying to push that narrative, it just seems to be happening by itself. I mean, they are naturally quite different personalities anyway, but maybe there's also an element of awareness that it's quite a difficult situation and they've got to share their mum's attention, share resources, share the toilet to play in, and so they just sort of naturally see each other as competition. Even though Kaylynn is doing as good as she can, they might still sort of see each other as competition for resources and attention. Especially Emily, whose social is extremely bad. In fact, Emily's social is so bad, and I really don't want the social worker to come, that I am just going to cheat it up a little bit, or put it up to 25% so that she's got a little bit of a boost to hopefully stave off that social worker. I don't want to make it easy for them, but at the same time, I don't want them to get taken away because I don't think Kaylynn is a negligent parent. Alright, so we're getting the twins fed, and then we'll get Kaylynn fed, and then we'll spend some time with them. It just feels like we spend all morning trying to tidy up because the babies keep blocking Kaylynn from getting inside the house. And then by the time Kaylynn eats, it's nap time. And then by the time everyone's down for a nap, it's time to get up from the nap. And then by the time everyone's up from the nap, it's tea time. And then by the time Kaylynn's eaten, it's bedtime. And then by the time everyone's got down to bed, it's time to get up. I just feel like I'm not making a very good episode because I'm constantly just trying to get things done and micromanage keeping everyone alive. I don't really have time to worry about who Kaylynn may end up with, or even the fact that she's wants to have another baby and get married, because at the moment she can't get inside the house to pick up a dirty bottle. So Emily's social is once again pretty dire, because even though I cheated up a little bit, we haven't had time to spend any time with her. I don't know how Kaylynn can have so little time and yet also neglect her children this much. I cannot wait for them to age into children. Like, genuinely cannot wait. Alright, so Kaylynn is fed. Now, both of the twins need changing, and Megan especially needs a nap. They both need a nap, really. So let's get them changed and in bed. Oh, Megan's just refused to let Kaylynn change her nappy. I've never seen that before. Is that because she's in such a terrible mood that she doesn't even want her to pick her up? The problem is, Megan, in order to help you at all, we're going to have to pick you up at some point. So we're going to have to change your nappy or put you down for a nap or play with you or something in order to get your mood up. And Kaylynn's passed out. Alright, let's see if we can actually get Megan into bed, because then maybe she'll let us change her nappy later. There's always an issue with these two is Emily goes down first, and so she gets a chance to actually get some sleep on her own, and then Megan goes down later and she never gets a full night's sleep before Emily wakes everyone up. Alright, 3 o'clock, the twins are finally down. And when I say the twins are finally down, what I mean is Megan is finally down and Emily is about to wake up. So enjoy your 10 minutes of sleep, Megan. And Kaylyn's down as well. And to be honest, it's probably the best place it could have happened because the twins are not going to wake her up, so I might just leave her there. Her comfort's going to plummet, but it's already rock bottom, so what does it matter? You know parenting's difficult when the pavement is the best place to sleep. Genuinely the most restful place. Passers-by seem a little bit worried, but nobody's actually worried enough to stop and help. The good news is that the twins are going to grow up tomorrow, so we've only got 24 more hours to make it through. And then they'll become children and hopefully everybody can actually function a little bit better. Alright, I think that's enough sleep for Kaylynn. We can't have her getting too comfortable. Let's go and feed everybody. Megan is still refusing to let Kaylynn change her, so she's just going to have to live in a dirty nappy now, I guess. That kid's got some sort of weird trauma response. Alright, it's gone midnight. We're just getting around to getting Kaylynn something to eat. She is on the brink of death. The twins have trapped themselves on the porch, which, to be honest, they can stay out there as far as I'm concerned. We've got to get Kaylynn fed, then get the twins into bed. It is their last bedtime as toddlers. Less than 24 hours to go. It really does feel like just counting down the hours, often the minutes, until they age up. I can't handle it anymore. I'm so glad that my custom lifespan of a day to a year is so much shorter than the normal game. I think the normal game has babies at 3 days and toddlers at 4. Whereas I've got babies at 2 to 3 days and toddlers at 3. And even that is difficult. So I'm very glad it's not any longer than that. I still can't get over the fact as well that Kaylynn has consistently this whole time wanted a baby. She fears it as well, which I think is rational. I think she'd be insane not to fear it. But she still wants one. And you know what? I might fulfill it after the twins have aged up. I can't do it now. I mean, to be honest, there's no time to even do the deed that could get her pregnant in the first place. But even if there was, I don't think we could cope with it. Oh, Emily's refusing to get changed now as well. Neither of the twins are happy. I can't figure out why, she says, with everybody's needs in the red. I feel like we've made progress. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Megan's just about to go down. Emily's already down. So we can get Kaylynn into bed. I feel like she might actually go to sleep for like 2 whole hours. That's incredible. Neither of the twins allowed her to change her nappies, but that's fine. They seem content with their own stink at this point. No, Kaylynn, that's not the right place. You're so close to making it to bed, come on. Well, I thought it was going to be a nice restful sleep for Kaylynn, but Emily is very nearly about to wake up, so maybe she'll just get 10 minutes, but that's better than nothing. Yeah, and Emily's awake, and therefore so is everybody else. Well, it was nice while it lasted, for the whole 10 minutes it lasted. Well, let's get Emily out and then hopefully Megan can actually go back to sleep for a little bit because she's not rested. I mean, she's had a bit of rest, but it would be nice if she had a bit more. Not Kaylynn just looking to the skies wondering if there is a god. Okay, it's nearly midday. We're finally getting Kaylynn her breakfast. We're so close to getting everybody through. I know it's really bad. Megan's been asleep like this for a little bit. And I just left her because it makes my life easier if they just stay in one place and don't get in the way. I love how we started this journey into toddlerhood less than 3 sim days ago. And I started by going, oh no, there's a toddler passed out on the floor. Oh no, we're doing such a bad job. And now I'm just like, you know what? The toddler's passed out. That's a good thing, actually, because it means they can entertain themselves for a little while. And Kaylynn can actually get some food inside of her so she doesn't die. So let's have Kaylynn finish her breakfast, awake, conscious, and then get the twins down for a nap. The good news about it taking so long to get them down is that because Megan fell asleep for quite a long time on the floor actually, and Emily took a long time to even get into bed, for once Emily's energy meter isn't miles above Megan's, so if we can get Megan into bed quite quickly, then they might actually wake up in a similar time a few hours from now, and Kaylynn can get a good rest as well. You know, right on time for them to grow up into children and for it to not matter anymore. Okay, so it's 4 p.m. and finally everybody's in bed so they can get a bit of rest. But I am actually going to wake everybody up now at 6 p.m. because I don't want them to be toddlers for a second longer. The good news is we can still afford 2 beds. They will have to be the cheapest ones, but that's fine. The money front was actually easier than I expected it to be. I was expecting to struggle a lot more with money, but we've managed to make it last. And when they age up, we can then get Kaylynn a job. I probably won't do it this episode, but maybe first thing next episode, we'll look at finding Kaylynn a job. For now, let's buy a couple of beds. I bought a potty for them as toddlers. They didn't use it once. because I tried a couple of times, but they weren't in good enough moods to use it, so that was a waste of money. None of them have learned anything. I suppose they've learned that life is hard, and that's about it. Alright, so that's the twins' room. It does feel a little bit mismatched because it's very pink, because Megan likes pink and the walls and floor were already pink, whereas Emily likes blue, so it almost looks like she's been shoved in here without much thought. I might see if I can repaint something actually. Maybe we can do pink carpet, blue walls, or blue carpet, pink walls. I mean, financially, it's probably cheaper to paint the walls than rip up all the carpets, isn't it? So let's do blue walls. And that is most of their money gone. And to be honest, it doesn't even look that nice, but it does look a bit more fair, I think. One twin gets the floor, one twin gets the walls in terms of colour choice. So it looks a little bit less like Emily's just been shoved in there with her sister, and it looks a bit more like a collaborative bedroom. Anyway, let's get the twins out of their cribs and aged up and say goodbye to this stage forever, you know, until Kaylynn inevitably wants more babies, and knowing my luck, next time she'll end up with triplets. I think if she ends up getting pregnant with triplets, or even if she just gets twins again, I think I'm just going to set the house on fire and burn them all. Alright, so let's get these twins out of their cribs so that they can age up. It's like Emily's not even waiting to be put down before she goes for it. And she is running to the toilet. Can't blame her. And now it's Megan's turn. Alright, so I think both of them aged up badly, which is disappointing, but frankly not surprising. So I'm going to go ahead and give them both makeovers. So I'm just giving the twins the makeover and I spotted something out of the corner of my eye. It looks like Daniel's paying us a visit. The audacity of this man. He hasn't visited this whole time. We invited him over when they were very young. He did absolutely fuck all to help. And now that they're of an age that they can look after themselves a little bit more, he's like, oh, now I'm interested. The longer I play this Uberhood, the less I like Daniel Pleasant. Absolute bellend. I mean, I was a bit busy to come and let Daniel in because I think he'd been ringing for a while when the twins were aging up, so I was sort of preoccupied with that. I didn't really notice, and now I can't actually invite him in. But yeah, he's not coming in today, so that's fine. So Emily's already coming and cleaning up the plates, which is just perfect. I love when they reach this age and they can just clear up all the mess that they caused when they were toddlers. I was going to say, and just like that, the kitchen's clean, but it very much isn't. But, you know, there's no dirty plates lying around, so half the battle's won. Kaylynn is in bed, so she is fully just enjoying the experience of getting a full 8 hours. I should also show you what I did with their makeovers. So this is Emily, the older one, out here at the back. So I've just given her some longer hair and this blue outfit. She kind of makes me feel like she's gonna, I mean, they can't do it, but clearly if they could, like she's gonna grow up to be a bit of a surfer girl. And then out front here in the pink, we've got Megan. When you look at them side by side, they do look very similar. They obviously look like siblings, but I can't tell. I don't think they're identical. I think they do look a little bit different. It's going to be interesting to see what they look like as they get older. But yeah, at the moment, it's difficult to tell if it's just because of their different hairstyles or if they do genuinely have very different faces. They've got different eyebrows, which probably makes a difference as well. Anyway, on that note, I think I'm going to leave this episode here. I'm so glad these two are aged up and I don't have to do the whole single parent with twins thing again for a bit. This was definitely a struggle, but it's over, it's done. They're children, and hopefully Kaylynn doesn't get knocked up with twins or worse ever again. Next episode, we're going to be heading over to the Burb family, and I imagine they'll probably have at least one kid, if not more than one, so that could be fun, especially if they end up rolling multiples as well. So if you are here, thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe if you wanna, and I will see you soon.